When the Google Nexus 4 launched late in 2012, it was a near-perfect blend of top-end specs and rock-bottom price, which is really everything we hope for in a smartphone. Now that the Nexus 5 is here to take over the mantle, it has a lot to live up to. With that in mind, let's see exactly how Google's latest handset compares to its still brilliant predecessor. The Nexus 4 comes with a 1.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro chip and 2 GB of RAM, which was a top-shelf mobile CPU in 2012. The Nexus 5 gets a blazingly fast 2.26 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 800, identical to that found in the LG G2. The Nexus 5 also runs Android 4.4 KitKat. The Nexus 4 is expected to get an update soon, but for now it's stuck with Jelly Bean. The Nexus 4 has a 4.7-inch 720p IPS Plus display, rocking 318 ppi. It's a decent screen, but since then it's been battered by newer handsets in terms of resolution. The Nexus 5 gets the full HD treatment and a bump in size, with a 4.95-inch 1080p IPS Plus display with a much higher pixel density of 445 ppi. The 8-megapixel camera on the Nexus 4 left a lot to be desired. There wasn't anything inherently wrong with it, but overall it produced some pretty lackluster photos, especially in low light conditions. The Nexus 5 sticks with 8 megapixels but gets image stabilization this time round, so hopefully along with some software tweaks it will be able to snap better. The Nexus 4 has a 2100 mAh juice pack which proves slightly above average in practice, holding out for over a day if you didn't go overboard. LG claims 390 hours on standby or up to 15 hours talk time. The Nexus 5 gets a marginally better 2300 mAh battery. We haven't had a chance to test it out yet, but the official figures are up to 17 hours talk time or 300 hours on standby. In terms of connectivity, each phone offers NFC, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0 and GPS, but the Nexus 5 is also 4G enabled. Sadly, the Nexus 4 is no longer available to buy from Google, but when it launched it came with an extremely reasonable price tag starting at £239 SIM-free, or £279 if you wanted the 16GB version. The Nexus 5 starts at a slightly higher price of £299 for the 16GB version, or £339 for the 32GB model. Overall then, the Nexus 5 looks to be an improvement on the Nexus 4 in just about every way. Presumably corners were cut in the camera to keep costs down, and Google is asking for a bit more of your cash this time round. Nevertheless, it looks like we have another impressive and great value Nexus device on the market.